Okay, guys, we're back.
Did you miss us?
Because we missed you. Hello. It's so good to be back.
Woohoo.
So good. Yeah, it's been a
Um,
long time. Good job, us, for taking a break. Yeah.
oh, much needed too. I don't know about y'all.
Yep.
Feel refreshed, ready to go. But this is so exciting. This is season 2 of A Word with the Girls. We are on season 2. It's
That's
happening.
fun.
So thank you for all of our followers for continuing to join us. Make sure you share this with a friend so that they
Yeah.
can hear A Word with the Girls too.
Yeah, welcome back to A Word with the Girls. I'm Molly, here with my sisters, Abby and Emily. If you haven't already, make sure that you follow us on Instagram, A Word with the Girls. And if you have not yet subscribed to our podcast on Spotify, you can hit that follow button so you don't miss an episode. As always, we would love to hear from you, our listeners. If you've got a question or a word you'd like us to add to the bank, make sure that you comment on Spotify or on our Instagram, and maybe we'll feature your suggested word. Well, as we dive in today, we better catch up because it's been a while. How are we doing?
Good.
How's 2024 treating us so far?
It's still January, and that
I know.
feels like a lot.
I know.
January is the longest. What is it? The longest year
Right.
or something? There's some way to put it.
Yeah,
Although
I
I
saw
did hear
another
some.
meme that was like something about like it's January. She's gonna make sure you feel every one of her 45 days.
That's funny.
That's funny.
It's funny.
Well, I also saw that there's like this stint between like November something to January 22nd. It's like the 10 darkest weeks, like the least amount of
Mm.
sunlight in 10 weeks, and we just got over that hump. I think that that's true too.
Starting to see the sun again.
Mm-hmm.
Molly, you lived in the Midwest, but man alive, does it get cold here? Like for a week, we had the record low -3 degrees or 3 degrees as like a high for the day. I don't know, it was crazy. It was very cold. So
-3.
Wow.
so you're like stuck in the house and it's just like gray. There's like no blue skies like Colorado, so I don't like
Oof.
Midwest winters here.
Yeah, that's hard.
Hmm
What is the benefit of living in Colorado? Like, it's
hmm
sunny almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
It might be cold, but the sun's out.
And it's
hmm
so temperate here in Grand Junction.
Today was
It's like
so
60 degrees
It
today
was so nice today.
in
Oh my
January.
gosh.
But it is revolutionary for mental health because this time of year in the Northwest is like the worst.
Mm.
Worst time. It's so gray. The days are so short. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
that
and they
sounds hard.
recently had like an ice storm up
Crazy
there for
ice.
like a good week. So they were all stuck in
hmm
their houses and yeah, it's not good.
So yeah, 2024. Like, what have been some, I don't know, what do you call it? Thorns and roses or highs and lows, like of
So
the month
far,
so far. Hmm
let's see. Mom got me this meal planner thing for Christmas, which I usually meal plan dinners, but this one had days of like the days of the week on it, and then each day of the week had breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I'm planning breakfast, lunch, and dinner for all the days of the week. And then it has like a grocery list on the side. So I've done that every week. And yes, it takes planning. But oh my gosh, doing all three meals is revolutionary. In the back of my
Oh,
head, I think I've done all three, but I've never written them down. So when breakfast comes and kids are like, I'm hungry, what can I have? I'm like, But with this, it's like, oh, cool, we have blueberry muffins. Let me make those. And so it's been really helpful. And then just knowing like I have everything I need for 7 days. So that's been really good. And yeah, just revisiting the budget, of course. And yeah, starting the year, trying to start it on a good productive foot, I'm
hmm
sure we'll have a hard time throughout the year keeping on it, but trying to start out, disciplined. So,
yeah, that's so good. I mean, decision fatigue is a real thing, and if you can like take that out of your schedule of having to like think of like meals, all the things, like that actually takes off a lot of stress. So
yeah.
really
Yeah,
wise.
it's been so good to already have lunch and breakfast written down, and I don't have to think about it. And the Millie, who loves having lists and stuff, she goes over and she's like, "What are we having for lunch today?" And so that's been cute.
That's
And
perfect.
yeah, helpful for her too.
What about you, Mal?
Yeah, I mean, this year has been kind of exciting in a lot of ways of just trying to be intentional with new friendships, and it's just been really fun. I've gotten to go out and do some really fun stuff recently, and I feel like I've hit like a new level, you know? Um, and that feels really good. So, and one of my goals for the year was to kind of make some small steps towards the book writing thing. And so I recently was invited to write a piece for one of my new friends and her podcast. And so that's been really fun. I feel like it's been a fun first step in that direction. And yeah, so far I'm really proud of myself actually
It's
in
only
the
been
month of January.
One
Yeah.
month in, and you've already accomplished half your goals.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's been really good.
Well, and we got a sneak peek of this piece of
Mhm.
writing, and it's incredible, and it just gets me really excited for what's to come for you, Mal.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a full circle
Mm,
picture of Molly's journey. It's really cool.
Yeah.
it's really beautiful.
I'm going to post it on my blog so that people can find it. And then we can link the recording too. That'll be part of her podcast.
Awesome.
What about you, Em?
Well, I was very proud of myself as well. I took a couple of weeks off, and like I was really wanting to be intentional with like, shutting off the noise of social media and trying to like focus on reading and like kind of setting myself up for this next year. And I read 3 books, which was
Whoa.
crazy. Like, who am I? I like historic fiction. Who knew that? Like,
Whoa, mom will be so happy.
That's
I know.
crazy.
I recommended a book to her to read because I'm in a book club with my church, and we meet quarterly, so we have 3 books. One's like a classic, nonfiction, and a fiction of some sort. Yeah, so I read The Chronicles of Narnia's Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh,
I
it's so
Which
good.
was really, really sweet. And it's so funny. I was talking to Molly Abby, but do you remember the super lame Narnia movie we used to watch back in the
Oh
day
yeah.
with the creepy beavers?
Oh yeah.
That little girl
Yeah.
with the buck teeth.
I
Yes,
loved
Lucy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She looked, well, Abby, you don't have buck teeth, but like she kind of reminded me of you in a way. But
I do need braces again, so that's fine.
no. Um, but so as I was reading, that's what was like in my mind. And I think the scene that like really was the coolest was when, you know, Aslan comes back to life and he like breathes on all of the people who turned into stone and they like
Yeah.
come to life. And I don't know, just like gave me like a new, fresh perspective of like Jesus and the suffering. And I don't know, it was just like really cool. It was really fun to read. It was short
Cool.
too. It was like 130 pages. And then I read this amazing book called The Second Life of Muriel West. And it's about a leprosy colony um in Louisiana. It's like historic fiction, but really interesting. So,
Oh.
and then just like another random chick flick that a friend recommended. So I'm currently trying to read Angela's Ashes. Um, but it's
Hmm.
been fun. So that was good, and it was just like, yeah, nice to step away from social media and recognize how much I like lean on that. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I kind of
How
want
are
to do it
you
more.
easing back into social media?
Well, I put timers on my phone, so like when I run out of time, I'm like, okay, that's that.
Cool.
But the ironic thing is like I recently will be taking on kind of like a very part-time position of being a social media manager for a women's ministry, which is really cool because I think I really want to be intentional with the things that I post, that it's not just noise for people, that it really does like breathe life and things like that. So
Mm.
just
Mhm.
being a little bit more intentional with what I'm posting. So
I
yeah.
think your posts were already doing that, but maybe now you have the mindset of making sure you're feeling life from what you produce.
Mhm.
Yeah, and trying not to rely so heavily on like how many views, how many likes, just to
Mm.
be like whoever sees this, great. And trusting that if that's where the Lord wants to take me, he will. But yeah.
Cool.
So,
Good
so
job.
it's been good. But yeah. But I've
Fun.
missed catching up with you all on a more frequent basis.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So yeah.
Because we haven't really caught up since.
Yeah, that really does. This whole thing keeps us in the loop on what's going on
In
with
the
each other.
know.
Yep. Although it was super fun, Dad recently celebrated a birthday and somehow we ended up all on a FaceTime call together. And so we almost did
that's
like a family FaceTime and that was like really fun. I feel like we need to do that more often.
We do
I don't
need
know.
to do that more often. Yeah.
Yeah, that was funny.
I have been waiting with bated breath, Abby. I would like to hear the story of your recent trip, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because I want to know how it went.
Okay, so for Christmas, Emily, Molly, and my parents got the kids tickets to go take the train from Junction to Glenwood Springs, which is so fun, so outside the box. And so we did that this last weekend. And really, initially it went great. We packed our bags. The kids just had a backpack. We had one suitcase with all of our clothes in it. We were only staying one night. We had the diaper bag, stroller, and Annie's car seat. So like very minimal, only what we could carry. So yeah, we got there. We're waiting in the station. Met lots of really nice people. They thought what we were doing was so fun because it was a Monday or Sunday at that point, and so they were confused about like, why are the kids here? Don't they have school tomorrow? We're like, well, so we got to like tell them about what we do. We homeschool and stuff. Anyway, so we get on the train and we got the whole back to ourselves. And we went on the upstairs part, so you have more panoramic view. It was awesome. It was so fun. The kids immediately got their notebooks out and coloring and looking out the window. And Millie has a little Polaroid camera, so she's taking some pictures.
So fun.
Those turned out really cute. So the way there was so fun, just being able to see through the canyon and then when we got there, we knew because it was like a mile from the Amtrak station to the hotel. And so we're like, okay, we can Uber, which turned out to be $60. And we were like, not happening. I know.
That's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah. So we said, okay, not Uber. That's not happening. So we're like, okay, we could take the public train or the public bus. And we were like, we've been sitting for the last hour and a half. Let's just walk. And so that's what we did. And it was totally fine. It wasn't, I was more worried about like walking on a busy road and it wasn't that bad at all. So we got off, we went up a bunch of elevators, crossed over the bridge and walked through Glenwood to our hotel. But we got there at noon and we couldn't check in until 4. But they were like, hey, go ahead and use the water park at this hotel. There's a water park.
Oh, nice.
And so we're like, okay. So Annie had fallen asleep, so her and I stayed in the lobby, but the kids and Alex went into the water park and it had a slide and pretty shallow water, so they could just kind of meander around. And so we did that for 2.5 hours, and then finally our room was ready. And then that night we walked down to Qdoba, got dinner, and walked back. And in our room, they had bunk beds. So it was a suite. The kids had bunk beds, and then there were like French doors. And we had a king size bed, and then there was a pack and play in there for Annie.
Wow, they had a pack and play for you. That's great.
Which was great. But poor Annie girl, she had a real rough night. I think, she just napped bad all day, which napping bad usually turns into bad sleeping at night. So she was up a lot that night. So the next morning, our train was supposed to leave at 1:50. Check out from the hotel was 11. So we were like, this is great. We'll check out. We'll walk downtown, get coffee. But that morning, we got a notification that the train was delayed. And we're like, oh, okay. Well, that's still fine. Let's still plan on leaving. Well, then there wasn't any update. And the train, you could see where the train was on the app, and it was still just outside Denver. And so we were like, So turns out one of the tracks had broke, and so they were needing to fix it. But we had to make a hard decision of, okay, we can either wait this out and wait for the train to get there, or we need to rent a car, or we need to stay another night. And so all morning into mid-afternoon, we kept waiting for more notification and the train hadn't moved. And because we had such a rough night, Alex and I were a little tired and a little, on edge. And so we were like, okay, we're not going to stay another night. We don't want to fork out another $200. So we knew that was out. So we're like, okay, we need to find a rental car because all these people were affected by this. So rental cars were going quickly. And so we're like, crap, okay, we need to find a rental car. We knew that was like, we didn't need to pay for that until we got there. So we were like, let's just reserve one. If the train comes in the meantime, we'll get it. So unfortunately, by 2:30, the train hadn't left, and the estimated time of getting to Glenwood, it getting there was 6:30. So we would get home by 9, and we were like, this isn't going to work. So unfortunately, we ended up renting a car and driving back home instead of taking the train. Which, I mean, I'm thankful that we had the opportunity to do that and weren't stranded there for another night. But
Well, especially because it's like an hour and a half away. It's not like it's far at all.
that was the most annoying part. It's like we're not that, but
So
far enough for like Mom and Molly and them not to come get us. And they didn't have a big enough car, and we had our key fob, and we only have one key fob, and so they couldn't go get our expedition. It was just like this huge headache, all while we're trying to keep our 3 kids happy and entertained. Not that they're hard, but so we were at the public library in Glenwood for several hours, which was fine. But anyway, what we were hoping to be a finale of a great weekend turned out to be a little disappointing. And Millie, like when we finally made the decision, she just burst into tears and was so sad. And yeah, so her disappointment, I think, was the worst part of it. So we all crammed into this tiny Sonata that smelled like BO, and Annie ended up throwing up her snacks in the back seat.
Oh God.
It was just like laughable, really.
I mean, pretty on par with a typical Evans vacation, right?
Totally.
It's true.
Totally. But the kids did great. They
Good.
loved every minute of it.
So the big question is, would you take Amtrak again?
Yeah, I would. It was really fun. Had we not had that hiccup, it would have been the best weekend ever. Because had we have left at 1:50, we were supposed to get home at like 3:30 or 4. I mean, perfect timing. It would have been great. I just didn't really think of that happening, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've ever had a train be on time both directions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the same thing happened to me in the Northwest when I used to take the train from Portland to Seattle. And there was one day coming home that it like just kept getting delayed. And my roommate ended up driving up to get me like a couple hours. Yeah. So
I don't think it would have been that big of a deal had it had just been Millie and Amos. But because Annie had already had a really hard night's sleep, Alex and I were surviving on near nothing. Millie and Amos were perfectly happy, but it was just like, no, for our sanity, and we just need to get Annie home. We need to get her into bed. It was just like, and we don't want to have to fork out more money than that we didn't really plan on.
Right.
Well, and so that was another cool thing. We thought the car was going to be a certain amount, and we were like, whatever, we're just going to pay it. And it ended up being like a quarter of that, which I don't know how, but
cool.
Yeah. So it was fun though. Super fun to go on an adventure with the kids. And we felt like nomads. Like all we had was what we had on our back. And to have that with 3 kids and no car, it was just like,
that's cool.
We're just, and the gentleman at the train station was like, y'all are like the Amish. The Amish come here on the train and they don't have a car or anything. We were like,
it's true.
Whoa.
There you go.
Very cool.
So, anyway, it was,
and on like if everything goes to plan, like it is kind of the perfect little getaway. It's not that far. The train is super cheap, mostly.
It's so cheap. And it's
right?
so comfortable.
I know. There's so much room for you to like walk around. You can look, you
Yeah.
can walk.
Well, and they let us, we sat in the emergency exit section. And so there was a place for Annie's car seat, and I didn't realize the seats lean back and have
Mhm. Uh-huh.
Nice.
So nice.
it was
And
just like,
plugs, everything.
this
Wi-Fi.
is so nice. Yeah, I loved it. Way more affordable for families. Yeah. So
Awesome.
thank you guys. It was
Oh,
so
that's
fun.
fun.
So
You're
fun.
welcome. Good. Any other fun adventures? Molly, I feel like you're baking a lot.
I am baking a lot. It's been really fun. Yeah, it's been really fun. I'm getting more and more brave and trying more complicated things. So Dad's
Dad's
birthday
cake, I was
cake
just gonna
was
say.
pretty,
Pretty epic.
yeah,
It
that
looked
was a good one.
delicious. Yeah, it looked really good.
It was so
Oh,
good.
so good. I ate it for like the next week.
So did I. Yeah.
Mm.
It was still good like days
Oh, yeah.
later.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
So that's been fun. I've also been running quite a bit. I've gotten hooked on like treadmill running workouts.
Okay.
Do you do them outside or do you do them at
Well,
the gym?
I've been doing some outside too, some like speed interval type. It's like the Apple Fitness or whatever. I have a free trial.
Yeah. So do
So,
I. Haven't used it.
yeah, I was like, well, I might as well. It's I have 3 months free, so and the treadmill workouts are super fun. Like the other day I ran at a 6% incline at like 6.5 miles an hour for 3 minutes. It was
That's a lot.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa,
Wow.
cool. Was there someone
There,
screaming in your ear? Like,
Yeah, I mean, they're like, "You can do it." Like and there's, like, good music and
so fun.
yeah.
hmm.
Dang,
there's
nice
there's
work.
this like viral treadmill workout. It's like a 12,
Oh, is it
3,
12, 3, 30?
30. So you're at like a
Mhm.
12 incline, speed of
Yeah.
3 for 30 minutes. So it's just
Speed of
like you're
3.
hiking up a hill
Oh.
for 30
Mhm.
minutes. So,
I've done it a few times. It is I like it. I do like it. There's something about, like, these workouts that have been fun because it's not, like, for the whole time.
yeah.
So it's easier, and I'm pushing myself far more than I would in just like a regular run. So it's been really cool. And I keep
Yeah.
thinking, Emily needs to figure out how to like record these
Hmm.
so
Oh,
that
like to be
she
your
can
coach?
be, yeah, like be the
Mhm.
person in your ear being like, okay, my next tip is, keep your arms at 90
Such a good
degrees or
idea.
whatever. I just feel like you'd be really good at it,
Hmm.
whether it was like a
All right.
walking one or a,
That's such a good idea.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, as your family fitness professional and for all, what's really cool is research actually shows hit training is better than continuous, like a flat 30 minutes of running, because you do end up pushing yourself harder and you actually get more of a workout in a shorter period of time with the same benefits.
Mhm.
It's not only beneficial for people living with MS, but others too. And so, plus I
Hmm.
get bored if it's just the same old, same old. That's why I don't like treadmills or cycles because I think it's boring. But I have been in classes where if they change it up, the tempo and the speed and the intensity, then it's a little bit more
Mhm.
fun.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
So
I'll put
it's
that in the
been
back of my
fun.
mind as like an idea. Well, speaking of physical activity, my volleyball season has started and it is so much fun to be back out on the court with a team. We have a 2-day tournament happening this weekend on
Fun.
base. And so I'm really excited. But last night we played the number 1 seed team and we beat them 3-0, like 3 games to 0. It was so much fun and it just felt really good to like have chemistry with the team. And it's just,
Oh,
I just love
fun.
playing. So I'm really thankful
Mhm.
for that.
That's so cool. I
That is
still would
cool.
love to find a volleyball team here.
Sure, they're around.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Food Rec Center maybe?
Yeah, it's just like a matter of getting connected.
Yeah.
Because you do it as a solo person. It's not like you know anybody.
All the time. Mhm. Yep, you
Yeah.
just, like, because a lot of the time if leagues start, they're like, a team, it's $275 for a team. But then there's usually like an asterisk being like, but if you could be like a free agent, and then for people who need people, then you're just like, I'm 6 feet tall, I play middle. Then they're like, we want you, So,
That's awesome. Very
yeah.
cool.
But one day, Mal, you and I will play on the same team.
I know.
Abby, you're welcome to join us too.
That's the dream.
Sure.
So much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't played much volleyball in my life, but I do like
You'd
it.
probably be so good at it.
Yeah,
No
you would
doubt
be.
about it.
Annoyingly, you'd be like,
Yeah.
Let me do 2 practices, and then I'll be like the perfect libero or whatever.
I know. No, I can totally picture her being like such a killer setter.
A setter.
Ooh, that'd be good.
This one to go like this.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the three of us are on the same team,
Watch out.
Lord, let it be so.
Yes. Well, I've still been doing getting the kids out every day.
Oh yeah,
3,000 hours or whatever.
Yep.
How many are you at?
I don't actually know.
Mm.
I know.
I thought you had a tracker.
I did, and then I lost track of tracking it already.
Well, you spent almost like 12 hours outside this weekend.
I know. Yeah. So yeah, I've been really bad about coloring it, but it's more just been like I've been trying to keep it a rhythm, a normal rhythm. So we have this every day for sure. We do our 1.5 mile loop. The kids ride their bikes, and I walk with Annie. So every day we do that, and then just make sure I send them outside. But it's been good. Yeah, they've really loved having the rhythm of just, if anything, our walk every day.
I am excited. Well, okay. I'm excited. Tomorrow I sub for PE twice this week, tomorrow and Friday. But I subbed for PE last week at a different school, and I had 50 boys in one class. 50 boys. It was chaos, total chaos.
What
And it was
age?
like open high school. So it was like, so the thing is that these high schools, what's interesting is that athletes are required to take PE because it usually is like a weight training class. So they're like prepping for sports. There are a couple people who don't play sports. So like one class, it was probably like all basketball players, and they're like, 6, 7 playing hoops because it was like open gym. And so I was like, let's see if I got any skills. And so I like took a shot from the 3-point and swished it, and they were like, oh, and I was like,
Oh
I'm
my
done. That was
God.
perfect. Like, I'm done. It was really fun.
Whoa, what are the chances? Mine definitely wouldn't even have made it to
Mike,
the hoop.
Yeah, they're like, okay, she's kind of cool. I don't know.
That's
But then
amazing.
wow.
But then the class with the 50 boys, I'm pretty sure it was the baseball team, because baseball teams typically have like 40 guys on the team. And they were just like hot heads, and they were getting in fights. And I was like,
Oh
my gosh, it was chaos. So I have no idea how PE is going to look these next few days, because these are kids I'm used to, but I don't know what's on the agenda. Like, I hate open gym because it's just chaos. I'd rather have like structured boot camp or something. So
you should do like an obstacle course or something.
Yeah.
Or lead a fitness class.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I wish I would have done that before, but I'm just not familiar with like what equipment you have, how many students. Like, I just am going in. So
and that would be an intimidating group to try and get wrangled.
Yeah. Well, and as an athlete, I can say this, like, we often, like, I don't know, I think sometimes we just kind of think we're better than everybody.
Totally.
And so
There's a cockiness. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was intimidating being and boys are just gross, and there's just mullets everywhere. Everybody has a mullet. Why? What is that? And like very short shorts. Short shorts.
Lots of upper
mullets.
thigh. Yeah.
Too much upper thigh. I'm like, where are your basketball shorts? Put them on. Ugh, I don't know. They're just gross.
Yeah,
but,
hairy upper thigh is nasty.
So, but it's funny, Abby, because when I'm in these classes in the elementary school last week, and I swear there was this girl who was like Millie 5 years from now. She was like this super cute girl. They were working on these science projects. They were like building pulley systems with these like 3D models on a computer. And she was over there like tinkering with something. And it just made me think of like Millie and Moose, like,
I know. They'll be there in no time. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
But
so fun. Oh,
yeah. So it's been just super fun. Today was French. So I was like speaking French and playing
How?
games. I mean, I looked up a couple things on like how to say like, hi, my name is, and then we were playing these games to work on verbs and conjugations. And a lot of the words are sort of similar to Spanish. So I would play with the students and like try to pronounce the words if I could. And it was really fun.
That's
It was really
awesome.
fun.
wow. They're probably like, you're so fun. Will you be our teacher all the time?
I've had some ask that. Yeah, like, can you replace Mr. Anderson? Or
Oh
whatever.
gosh.
Yeah,
That's so
been
cool.
fun.
I'm glad you're liking it.
What
I feel
else?
like we all have some good trips coming up too.
Yeah, you guys. Oh my gosh.
It's
To-
happening.
It
It's
is
happening.
Oh my gosh. It's so yeah, I saw you were looking at swimsuits.
Yes. I'm trying to
Yeah.
do some shopping for it.
Fun.
But this weekend I'm going to Vegas with
right.
with a couple of Indo friends. They don't live in Indonesia anymore, but we all met in Indonesia and spontaneously decided to meet up in Vegas this weekend. So that should be fun. It's been so funny like planning it because
Yeah, I want to know what you're gonna do.
well, we're all, older and tired and, not crazy partiers. So we're kind of like, we just happen to be meeting in Vegas, but we're not really
Yeah, not Vegas.
going to
Vegas
be
people.
doing Vegas. Yeah. So, yeah, we're going to like try and, buy our own groceries and do it cheap so we can eat like good, at least one like good meal a day. And we're not really like bringing a bunch of fancy clothes. We just kind of like want to walk around and be with each other.
Fun.
So,
Sounds perfect.
and I was like, actually, Vegas is kind of the perfect place because we're staying on the strip. All those casinos are so bizarre and fun to walk through because they're just like so out of control and over the top. And
Mhm.
the weather's supposed to be decent, not great, like 50s, so not super warm. But
Okay.
so, yeah, but it's just been funny, like to be sharing with each other, like, okay, what are your hopes and dreams for this trip? And like for people to be like, I don't want to have to do any research for anything. I like, please don't put me in charge of deciding on restaurants and like, just like really naming those things out loud.
It's so nice.
And I just kept
though.
thinking, like, man, we're so evolved compared to, who we were 15 years ago or whatever. So, yeah, I think the goal of the weekend is quality time and people watching
Love it.
and probably some good cocktails. So,
I have a question. I feel like this is like the case with every friend group, but do you have somebody who is like the party planner? Let me do all the research. Like, sometimes groups of people like just have that.
I think it changes every time. So I'm looking up restaurants and like trying to find some options for us. Mostly cuz like I do that on Instagram anyways. Like I have multiple saved lists for New York City and Denver and Chicago and whatever. So for me it's not too difficult.
We went for Abby's bachelorette party to Vegas. There was like, was it called the Hash House or something?
Is that where we got the breakfast? Cuz yeah, that was the last time I was in Vegas, which was what 12, 13 years ago.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
but I do remember that, like the giant fried chicken and waffles or
Guy
something.
Fieri, right? Wasn't it one of his places?
Yeah,
Mm,
it was really good. I mean, and like huge portions.
yes. Unfortunately, most of like the really good food, like the Instagram good food, is not on the strip, and we don't have a car. So,
Mm.
Oh, okay.
yeah. So like the donut places, the taco places, like all of those
Darn.
places are like too far to even walk because I was looking them up today to see like, and some of them are like 2.5 hour walk. And
Oh
I'm
my
like, well,
gosh.
that's too much.
That's
I
crazy.
don't think we can do that. So,
funny.
but no, I'm super excited
That
just
sounds so
to be with them and catch up. And so, yeah, should be nice. And then, yes, we do have our trip to the Bahamas spring break.
Whoa.
I still can't believe it's really happening.
When will that
Mhm.
be? Is that mid-March?
Hmm
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we're
That
going with a
is
new
so
cruise
fun.
line. MSC. I'm not gonna lie, MSC, if you're listening, I wrote you an email just letting them know, like, hey, by the way, you have a newbie coming onto your cruise, a fitness instructor who is going to be shooting some content on how to stay active on a cruise. So we'd love your sponsorship. So, anyways, just want to throw that out there.
Whoa, Emily, ever the PR.
They're like, sure, let us pay for your entire cruise. Thank you.
Ever
that
the
be amazing?
publicist.
That would be cool.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, super excited. We're gonna go to the Bahamas, and are we going to Key West? I can't remember.
No.
Just the Bahamas. Oh,
Mm,
and their own beach, which
yeah,
actually I've been watching some reviews, and it looks so beautiful because it's their own beach, and then they have this cool. They have a beach party, like a whiteout beach party on the beach, and
oh, does
then
that mean we have to wear something white?
no, I will not be wearing white. I don't own white because it gets dirty immediately. So, but it's gonna be a fun beach party, and then they have a lighthouse, and then they end up having like a light show on the lighthouse. So it looks like super
Cool.
epic.
So
So
do you
yeah, I'm
stay the
excited.
night there, but on the boat?
No, you're just there like all day, and then they probably have like an 8 o'clock like board the boat, and then the boat leaves. So you're just like
Okay.
docked at this island all day.
Okay. Okay. So you still
Mhm.
sleep on the boat the whole time. You just get to
Yeah.
spend your day. Okay. Cool.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
How fun.
I can't
But
wait to do karaoke. I feel like I've got
okay,
some new songs. So excited.
well, I was
So
thinking,
fun.
Mal, we need to figure out maybe like a duet that we should do
Mm-hmm.
together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
You know what I've been practicing is Nothing's Gonna Stop Us.
who's that
I'm
by?
trying to remember. By Starship. It's a
Okay,
guy-girl duet, but I feel like
we could do it.
we could totally do it.
Okay, this sounds crazy, but my favorite song right now, it's a little high because it's Pink, but it's Never Gonna Not Dance Again. Have you heard that one? Never gonna not dance again.
I don't think I know that one.
Oh, it's super fun. It's kind of fast, and then she gets kind of high, but it's a super
Oh,
fun one.
yeah.
So I kind of want to find potentially a new one because it's tricky. Some karaoke, they have like a set, what, because they're not always using like YouTube or
Right.
something. So you kind of have to have come with like a couple of options.
Well,
So
that's why most of mine are like old. Like this one
yeah.
is old. It's like
Oh.
80s.
Oh.
It's the one looking in your eyes, I see a paradise. Yeah. And then
Oh yeah.
the girl's line
Nothing's
is
gonna
like,
stop us.
yes.
Fun. That would be
Okay.
such a good one.
The girl's line is my favorite. I think it's coming. Let them say we're crazy. What do you hear about that?
Okay. I'll practice it.
Wow, that's it's a good one.
And that'll get the
Well, and
crowd.
people will get
It's
people
like an
singing.
anthem. Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
So fun. What a good choice. Way to go. Wow. Epic.
Okay. Well,
So,
Kevin has a song for us. If they have it, he'll sing with me,
cool. What is
which
it?
is like very unheard of. It's a song by Weezer and Sarah Bareilles. It's cute. I can't remember what it's called.
That
It's
sounds
super
too
cute.
obscure.
It's a weird one. I can't
Okay.
imagine like too many people would have it unless like they had like the YouTube. But it's cute.
Mhm.
It's like
Well, we
I
can
can't make fun of
always.
it.
Well, we won't have Wi-Fi. I was gonna say we could always just do our own YouTube
In our
karaoke.
hotel room before we get on the boat.
Right, there we go. Yes. Are those good?
Oh gosh.
I found these lemon crisp Kit Kats.
They are.
At Walmart.
I love lemon.
Oh, Kevin loves
loves
lemon.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go find those.
I feel like I'm always eating on
What's
this
the-
podcast.
What's the cream on the inside?
I don't know.
Or is it just lemon cream with like graham cracker?
Oh,
This episode is a little unhinged, but I kind of like it. Maybe we
I
can.
feel like I'm like Brad Pitt from Oceans. You know how he's always eating something when they're like,
Yeah,
The
a
mukbang.
burger.
huh.
Ooh,
That is. I
that's
love
what we should
those.
do when we're together. The next time we should do a mukbang.
What
Mm.
is that?
It's like where you eat on a podcast on YouTube and you like talk about what
about
it
it.
tastes like.
Ooh, what is it called?
Mukbang. I think it's a Korean thing.
Cool.
Never heard of it.
Mm.
Mukbang actually sounds Indonesian, but
Kevin
I'll
is currently TDY, which means actually I don't really know what TDY stands for, but he's away for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's funny. All
And
these years, you don't know what TDY stands for.
temporary duty. I don't know.
Elsewhere.
Yo.
Temporary duty, yo. That's what it stands for officially. So with that comes a halt on all the shows we watched together. Young Sheldon, Suits, Below Deck.
I
So
kind
now
of
I'm
hate when
like,
that happens. It's like, dang it, come on.
I know. However.com, that means that I can watch The Bachelor and catch up on The Bachelor and watch Married at First Sight and whatever else I want because I got full control. So that's what I've been doing.
Speaking
Nice.
of Bachelor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We've only all
I
watched the
love
first
him.
episode. though.
He is the best. He
He
is
is such a
so
gem.
sweet.
You know.
He is the sweet. Have you watched episode 2?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
When he like wipes their tears.
I know you're like, this is not real, but he is truly so authentic.
Genuine.
And when these girls are crying and being dramatic, he's like, it's okay. Take a breath. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm like, where'd you come from?
Why
Did you
didn't
see
what's
his-
her face choose him?
Because
I
she
don't even
picked
know
a
who.
guy who's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he is.
Are they
He's
still together?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
They
But-
were together at the Golden Bachelor finale.
He's
Wedding.
like so tall compared to her. She either is itty bitty, teeny tiny.
Well, I
or-
think he's like 6'8" or something. Like I think he's like exceptionally tall.
yeah,
The dream.
And I don't think that Joey is very tall.
he's probably like Alex's height. He looks like he's like 5'7", 5'8". He is just
he
the
is-
cutest.
He's so sweet. There are some girls that I'm like, producers, 100%, because I don't think he
know.
would choose them.
Right.
Like the sisters.
Okay. I would never, ever, ever go on a show with
No.
either of you.
So
There's
weird.
no way. There's no way.
No.
It's too weird.
I
And there's
am
definitely like
proud of
mean
the
girls.
Bachelor world though. Between Golden Bachelor and now Joey, I'm like, this is good stuff. I will watch this.
It's like they've returned to the point.
Right.
Like they've returned to the original recipe.
right. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
so good. I just
Well,
Joey.
I wonder if now because they're starting to bring on people who got cut before and stuff who kind of like know the process. Like, can he see through the BS and through this connivey stuff? Like, that's
You think?
what I wonder.
Are you asking if Joey can?
Yeah, like
I'm sure.
I've seen this before.
Well, and so he has 2 sisters. He's in between 2 sisters. So I think one is really good, probably talking with girls and like knows how to interact with them. And 2, I think he can probably gauge who's actually like nice and genuine and who's like catty and mean.
So, first impressions, who is your number one girl? Mine really is Daisy. I just think she's just really sweet and adorable.
I like all that she's overcome. I think that says a lot about her and her character. And I kind of like her story, and how she's beautiful, but like she has this part of her that's, makes her that much more special.
I haven't watched the second episode and I don't totally remember. There were so many of them.
32 or something.
Well, and I only really remember the ones I didn't like.
Right.
There was a blonde girl who was really cute. She had like shorter hair. Shorter blonde hair.
Oh, Autumn?
Yes. I don't really know much about her. I just remember thinking like, oh, she's so cute. She seemed friendly.
He has good taste though. And I noticed that without giving anything away in the group date, when the one girl was like, I'm going to go change into something more comfortable.
OMG.
Yeah.
No.
But he didn't, but you're like, thank you for like.
I have a feeling he has some like conservative, like maybe potential Christian values because he's not shirtless all the time. He puts his shirt back on. When
Right.
The
He
girls
put it on.
come.
He's like, y'all are clothes, so I'm going to put my back on. Like,
yeah.
he's
And I
very
think that made him really
modest.
uncomfortable when she did that. And I was like, and then when she came back in and all the girls were like, wardrobe change. Ew.
Yeah.
Not cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
But I think he saw through that and he didn't end up giving her the rose that night. I'll just tell you that.
Nice.
But it was like, Joey, wow.
No, not the group date, Rose.
Oh, it wasn't the group date?
Oh, she's seen the whole episode. You've only seen part of it.
I've only seen part of it. No problem.
Yeah.
I missed it anyway. Yeah.
But someone doing that, something that annoying, they have to keep around.
Totally.
Well, and it's tricky because I think because he is a boy, he's also like, she's gonna keep me on my toes. She's fun, you know?
Except, is that a good thing? Like when guys are like, she keeps me on my toe. Like, is that what you want? I don't know.
Well, I think, I mean, keep things interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think there is an
you don't
attraction
want to
there
bring-
to like a girl giving you a hard time.
That is endearing, but like this,
At the end
what
of the
she did
day-
is like, ew, don't do that.
No.
You're like
Well, and
making
you're
yourself
not
a
going to take.
product.
No, like I think in his mind he's like, who am I going to take home to my mom? Who are my sisters going to like vibe with?
Exactly.
Good
That's
point.
like a big deal. And
Mhm.
you know, I'm sure that's in the back of his mind. I just would love to know how much is producer pushed. Like her, and her, you get one you can like really get rid of or whatever. But like
I think, well, I don't know. It maybe has changed a little bit. I did read, there's a book called Bachelor Nation that's like behind the scenes of it.
We should
It's
Oh, have you
amazing.
read it already?
Uh-huh. And it talks about, like, it's written by a former producer of the show. And they talk about like that was back when they would like push alcohol on them and like kind of orchestrate some drama. And it was kind of controversial.
Kind of
But
messed up.
yeah, I mean I think there's a lot there. Cuz what the point of the show is not for him to find love. The point of the show is to have ratings that are high and viewers and fans and like, you know.
drama. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, okay, and here's the deal. Like these girls are not professional actors, and so you definitely can tell when it's like not authentic. There comes a point where there's somebody who's mad and wants to leave, and yet she has a smirk on her face. You're like, I don't know. I'm like, you're not a
That's
very good actor,
funny.
honey.
Oh, that's funny.
Like, I'm ready to leave. You know, like, I don't know.
Well, and it's funny to think about how like this show and franchise has been around for like 20 years, over 20 years. Like some of these girls maybe weren't even born when the first episode of The Bachelor came out, right? Like
It's true.
so I'm sure in their mind if they haven't watched a lot of it, they probably think that they're doing something so novel and so like no one's ever thought of this. Like, you know, for them to even say, I'm not here to make friends. Honey, that line's been used before. You know, so it's just so funny. It feels like makes me feel very old to be watching 20 somethings. So I haven't watched the full second episode, but I do listen to some Bachelor Recap podcasts and they were talking specifically about like I guess one of the girls is 31 and she's like the oldest one on there and she's
Medina.
also a model and she kept saying, "Well, I'm out of time.
I'm so
I don't have any more time." What? Excuse me? No.
Yeah.
So
She was she was saying something like, this just makes me feel really insecure and uncomfortable.
Yeah. I don't know how old he is. Is he like 26?
My
27?
guess
I
is
think
late
26,
20s.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then there's another girl who's like, I'm 29. I'm old too. You know, don't be insecure. But I'm like, well, at least they have girls like that are older, not like, I mean, there are some 24-year-olds, which is like so young. I mean, granted, I was
20
married.
yeah,
when I
there's
was
a
23,
23-year-old.
But yeah.
So young.
So young.
But also, like, how hard is your situation when you're a model?
Right.
I know.
What? Like, I don't. You lost me.
Well, in 23, isn't that like prime dating time?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not saying that the pool's great, but
Well, and, like when they're like, I'm just over casual dating. What? You've been dating for 3 years. Like, what are you talking about? I just, oh my gosh, so funny. Children. They're so funny.
But I do love it. I do.
The other show that we're watching right now is Queer Eye. They came out with a new season.
I cry every episode.
It's so good. Oh, the one
best.
we watched one last night with it's at a deaf school in Louisiana.
Oh my gosh, the coach. The coach.
Yes.
Oh, when he
Yes,
gave
when
him
he
his sign, I was a mess.
I know, and Jonathan's just like, yeah.
Mm.
The words that he uses as he signs, you're like,
I know.
yeah.
Well, and to get a name sign from like somebody who's in the deaf community is a big deal because like they give you your name. That's why that was like such a big deal the way he did it. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was something
So,
like this.
yeah, it was like you have brightness in your eyes, but you flip your hair, and so this is Jonathan.
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't know. It's like really cool.
It was beautiful and just so cool that they're incorporating all the like different types of people with
people. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was the
Yeah.
first one? The first one was so good too. Wasn't it an older gentleman?
Was he the KISS guy who took care of his brother?
Yes.
Yeah,
he was a full-time
like caregiver of his brother who'd been paralyzed since he was like 18 or something.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So, anyways, Queer Eye, so good. Did you watch Love on the Spectrum?
Not
Yes. We're
my God.
we're like halfway through. I love that. Abby and
David. When they sing. Oh, they're the best. I know.
Cutest.
Connor, his mom. I like literally, Kevin came up the stairs and I was like bawling. I was like, this show is so sweet.
That mom's
like,
ability to talk on the phone to him in like a way that's like pragmatic, but also so compassionate. I was like, I need to learn a lot from you because, and then I love the guy with the funny hair. I love him. He is
Dad. Dad.
Oh, I love that show so much.
Oh, I need to catch up on those.
Yeah, you do. And listeners, go watch those shows stat and bring
Seriously,
tissues because I cry every episode.
Yep.
But I
and
already
they're just
watched all of them.
Oh, you did?
Nice.
Darn it. Oh, they're so I just love them. Between Queer Eye and Love on the Spectrum, Alex and I go to bed just like wholehearted, like wow, the world is it's
gonna be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nice, wonderful people out there.
And the world's okay because you've got podcasts like A Word with the Girls.
Nice. Way to wrap it up.
Yep. If you're still listening, you deserve a gold star.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us for A Word with the Girls, a podcast where one word sparks conversation. And we really do believe in the power of connection and stories. And thank you so much for joining us for season 2. It is your turn. Take, as you enter this new year, to your people and see what shows they're watching, what their goals are for this year. And let us know how it goes in the comments on Instagram, Spotify, or on YouTube. So until then, we will see you again. Love you guys.
Bye. Love you more. Bye.
Well, thanks so much for joining us on A Word with the Girls, a podcast where one spark. Sorry.
One spark.
One spark lights the flame.
What's happening?
In your heart.
Oh, man. What? We are unhinged. Oh, boy. Okay.
Ooh, Word with the Girls unhinged.
Pretty much.
Hey guys, we're back. Did you miss that? Because we missed you.
That was too seductive.
That was a little like, whoa. Oh, yeah, you gotta do that.